Hello again. It hasn't been very long since my last video slash first video, but this is something that I feel is really important that I need to say, get it off my chest while it's on my mind. It's a very weird expression, but this is about The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask and why porting it to the 3DS is still a good idea and is something that I'm hoping Nintendo are going to announce at E3, or at least are considering, because they've been saying that they have been putting it into serious consideration. But I mean, it's still a fantastic idea because of everything that it would relate to, because it would bring the greatest Zelda game ever. Well, not the greatest Zelda game ever, the second greatest in my opinion. My top three games were A Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, and Link's Awakening. But it would bring one of the greatest games ever created of all time to a wider audience of 7-year-olds whose parents can actually somehow not care that they have a fancy electronic, or old school hardcore gamers like myself who grew up playing Zelda games and would just want to see it with new life on handheld, no less. I mean, I have Ocarina of Time 3D, and I still cannot believe that it's actually happened, that it looks that great, and I think that Majora's Mask deserves the same treatment. It probably deserved the same treatment moreover than Ocarina of Time, just because how much of a better game it was. Everything about the game was just spot on perfect. It's why those three games are my top three favorite Zelda games. I love them each equally, so I can't really say that I love one more over the other. And it would just be great because I still play my N64 version like it's no thing, like there's no tomorrow. And the game, now that I'm older, now that I can see it, I can see the frame rate drop considerably every 5 seconds, especially when you're wandering about Clock Town. And it would just be amazing to be able to see the game run smoothly and just look incredible and be more detailed, because the game had an extreme amount of detail for its time. A game released in 2000, I mean, the two best games released in 2000 visually were Majora's Mask and Perfect Dark, and I don't think anybody can argue with that. But I think the game just deserves the visual enhancement treatment. Mostly, the only reason, the biggest reason, because it all sort of revolves around this central theme, it's the whole convenience of the matter. The convenience of porting it onto a console that's already created, and it would be the exact same situation for the developers as it was for Ocarina of Time, because they could just port everything, the character models, the music, and the text, they could just port it over to Majora's Mask like they did way back in 2000. And it would really help the interface too, because they could move everything, like the time display on the bottom, the maps, like they did with Ocarina 3D, and the menus. They can move that all to the bottom touchscreen and make it really easily accessible like it was. That way you're not fumbling through the menu, like I still don't mind doing, but it would be cool to be able to do it at a much quicker pace sometimes. And be able to equip the masks separately from the actual items themselves, so you're not wasting inventory space with a mask that you could be using for something else, to make the game just flow a lot better, and you could not go to the pause menu as much as I always have to do when I play the game. But really, it's just for the sake of convenience and being able to see the game run crystal clear without any of those horrendous frame rate drops that have been so significantly obvious as the times have passed. Even though I still love Majora's Mask, like I said, like there's no tomorrow. Because I guess in the game there really is no tomorrow. And pretty much that's about it. It would just be great to see. I'm pretty sure a lot of fans would agree with me when I say that Majora's Mask deserved it more than Ocarina of Time, because how much more amazing the game was, especially in terms of story. It was the darkest story that I had seen in a long time, and it's still probably one of the darkest stories ever created. Not to say that I mean, the fact that it didn't have Ganondorf still makes it dark because, well, this has nothing to do with it, but Ganondorf is, in my opinion, the greatest villain of all time. I'm pretty sure that if Zelda were an M-rated game, or if Ganon would have the way he wanted instead of having the way Nintendo created him, he could kill everybody in 2 seconds. No problem. But away from that, the game was just dark, especially because, you know, the moon was lingering over you the whole time. You had to look up at that thing just coming down on you with its creepy-ass grin. And it was sad. Every side quest in that game was perfect and sad. And it just brought the whole entire feeling of despair condensed together, which is what the creators were trying to develop in the first place, and they just nailed it. Especially the Deku Butler and the Deku Butler's son. Whenever I figured out what the Deku Butler's son was, that's still probably the saddest thing I've ever seen in any video game ever, because the Deku Butler's son is that little twisted tree that you see at the very beginning of the game that has the really sad face on it, and then when you watch the ending credits you see the Deku Butler crying over the twisted form that became his son. And it's just things like that they put in the game, just those really nice hints of disparity throughout the entire characters. Every character in the game, they had their own way of dealing with the fact that the moon was going to crash. It was just brilliant. So I'm going to cut this short, because I didn't really plan on going on about this, but this is just something that I really want to see and really want to be able to play again. Well, not again, but play better. And even if they don't include anything new, that would be fantastic. I use that word a lot because it would be. They could just keep the game the exact same way. Like, do nothing, just increase the visuals and everything else that would require the basic 3DS touch-up. And that would be great. I would buy it. I would love it. Enough said. So, let's just see what happens. And I'm just gonna go ahead and end this video now before I start going into more about it. So, catch you guys later.